Hello, everyone. Yes, it's me again. Brrr, it's cold this morning. It's really cold. Uh, and it's going to be staying cold. Going to get really cold. But I've been wanting to tell this story and somehow never got to it because there was always something else on my mind. Spirit world's mind. But today it seems really calm and quiet. And then at the end, yeah, I have some thoughts on something again. But it's the story of one of our dogs. Yes, I know, right? I've been watching The Asher House, so of course, a lot of our animals come to my mind with the stories that I watch. Yeah, his name was Lance, and we still lived in Berkeley, California, and had just had to say goodbye to one of our other favorite family members. Yes, a dog named Fritz. That was a good story too, but Fritz didn't live all that long. He was only 5 years old when we had to put him down due to who knows what exactly. But I would say if I were pinned down, it was due to a bag of dog food that was contaminated somehow and caused an allergic reaction in another dog that was kind of a breed, though, that, okay. And I was offered the 50-pound bag of dog food. I'm going, yeah, oh, yeah, go, yeah. And it took almost a whole bag before our dog showed a reaction. And nobody could. This was probably the dog we spent the most money on. He was so young. He was an amazing dog. And nobody could fix him. It was very, very sad. And we could hardly take him for a walk anymore. All his paws were bleeding, and he showed signs of hair loss. And, well, anyway. And though I would mention to the doctors, the vets, I think it's the dog food. I think he got poisoned somehow. Something. They didn't really care, didn't really pay attention, and came up with all kinds of other things. Anyway, so that was that with Fritz. But Lance was our next dog. We went to the pound and walked around, and I had 4 children at the time already, and our youngest one was just 2 years old. And we walked, and we had someone from the shelter with us, and saying, "Oh, this dog here would be," and I'm looking in there, and it looked like a German Shepherd. Again, that's what Fritz was. He was well, okay, another story. And the dog looked older, a little older, and backed up in the cage and actually growled at us. And I looked at the person that suggested this dog to us. Looking at my 4 children, and I'm looking at how this dog was reacting to us, and I thought, what's wrong with this person? Thinking that I'm going to take this dog home with me. I immediately realized this. No, this dog's might not even be growling at me, but at the children. Okay. I said, yeah, I don't think so. We kept walking, and here is this. It was a pit bull Australian Shepherd mix, so it said on that. And they all had a little sheet where it kind of showed their temperament and how old they were and this and that. And Lance had a rap sheet. I'm not kidding. All the worst behaviors were on there. I mean, I'm looking, and he saw us, and he came right up to the front of the cage, and he was so excited. He was 6 months old. His whole body was just doing this. I mean, I don't think you could wiggle more than that. Yes, I'm looking, and the kids went up, and he was just, I mean, it was one of those moments where you're going, oh my gosh, there couldn't be more energy in that and happiness in this dog. And the person that was with us said, "Oh no, no, this is not a good dog for her. This is not a family dog. He's got way too many problems. This and that." And I looked at her and I going, "I don't know. It looks like this is the right one for us." So they had an outside area where you could go in and uh, and meet the dog. So I said, "Yeah, we want to meet this dog." And she said, "Okay," and brought him out. And here we are, all five of us. Yeah. And she let him in and off the leash immediately, which was good. And he was just all over the place, and my children all followed him and this and that, and he knocked over my 2 year old, in his exuberance, but didn't hurt her, she just fell over, and she gets up again and she goes too, and I'm watching the whole scene, and then I called him over, and he comes and he sits. And I said, "Oh, hi." I said, "Do you want to go home with us, huh?" And that was that. Took him home with us. Best decision I've ever made. That was an amazing dog. Oh my gosh. He ended up moving with us from Berkeley, California to the Kentucky mountains and became the best pack dog. We ended up having many more dogs while we were there, all roaming free, and he was an amazing dog. He was an amazing protector. Never bit anyone, though. Pit bulls are known for they're very mouthy, and I remember one time a child that was visiting wanted to go upstairs by himself, and Lance went up and grabbed him by the foot, just gently, and pulled him back down. And I watched the whole thing. I said, "Yeah, you can't go up there by yourself. You'll have to stay down here with everyone else." Uh, Amazing dog. It's very sad when he passed away. But the reason I'm telling this story is I didn't quite get uh, why we were uh, first shown this dog. I had to say, "Woof, this would be." I would not have a quiet minute worrying that this other dog, would bite one of my children or anybody because it was so scared, this and that. And I had 4 children. I didn't have time to train a dog or give it the, probably attention it needed to become secure again or this or that. I needed something that was matched our family's energy, and Lance did. And yet I was told, "Oh no, this dog is not." And yet it was a perfect fit. Yes, had to make that decision myself. Of course, I know my family the best, don't I? And the reason that he ended up at the shelter is most likely somebody got him as a puppy, and then I realized that he was just too much of a handful, and he was a big handful. I remember you couldn't take him for a walk. He was so strong already at 6 months old, and my children, we literally just dragged him on the floor if they would try to walk him. So I studied up on that, and I got a prong collar. Yes. Oh, that sounds terrible. No, it's not. I went to a pet store, and I looked at all the stuff that they had there. I studied up on, and another guy came in and says, "Oh, what you doing?" I said, "I'm trying to get a collar for my dog who's just it's too hard to walk right now." And he said, "Get a prong collar. I'll tell you why. You get one of those chokers that just tie together so that you're going to bruise his neck. But a prong collar won't do that. And they're very sensitive around their neck, and they will immediately respond to that." And I said, "Oh, okay." So I did. It was amazing. Put that collar on, He started to pull and immediately pulled back. Never hurt him. And my children could start walking him, this, that. He learned amazing with just that little tool. He's very smart. I remember going to Point Isabel was a place where he could go with the dog, but they could really run, this, and that. We went to Point Isabel a lot. So I went one day by myself. I didn't have anybody with me. I just went with him and for a walk. And we got out, opened up the back. I never had to take him really on the leash after some time. He was just under voice control. But that time, I don't know what got into him. I opened the back, and he ran out and immediately ran towards a dog and just about started to fight. But again, he was under good voice control, even though I could tell something had riled him up. I don't know what it was. Just opened the back of the car, let him out, and there he went. And I took him. I did always have a leash with me. Put him on the leash. So we were there for what, 10 seconds? Put it back in the car and I said, you know what? If you want to act like this, we can't be here. That's all I did. And put it back in the car, closed it back, and went back home. And you could tell he was confused and really down after that. Oh my gosh, what happened? I tell you what though, every time afterwards we went, he never ever did that again. Never. Easy to teach. This dog was so easy to teach, so smart. He was amazing. Anyway, I wanted to tell the story about Lance. And on how misunderstood as exuberant dog like that was perfect for our family. It's the person that showed us all the dogs and didn't think so. Yes? Yeah. Sometimes we have to make our own decisions. Yes? Yeah. Go with the vibe. Yeah. All right. Anyway, I don't know why I wanted to tell this story for a long time now about Lance. The spiritual nature of animals. Interestingly enough, he was one of these dogs. I don't think I've ever met another dog, personally, that did that when a thunderstorm would hit, and we had some thunderstorms up in the mountains. He, where all the other dogs are like, let me in, I want to go and hide somewhere. He'd be out there in the rain, in the thunder, in the lightning, and running up and down, chasing the thunder. Running from the barn down to the pond and back, and he was just, and you could tell he was in heaven. Just, and we would watch this so many times and say, what is he doing? And he was just out there. He wasn't just running. He was like leaping and just barking at the thunder, you know. And when it thundered over, he'd be turning around and just leaping through the air. His body just, it was almost floating. It was so interesting to watch. In the rain, it didn't matter. It was like that was his element. And after he passed away, interestingly enough, many times during a thunderstorm, it was as if I could still hear him out there, barking, running up and down. Yeah. I think that when we form a true connection with animals, they, even after they pass away, they stay with us. They really do. And if we pay attention, we'll find their most happiest moments, amazing moments, that's where we can still find them. Yes? Yeah. Well, anyway, so there we go. Let's get going, because this is a long one. I talked for 14 minutes. Oh, my goodness. All right, well, let's see. We are in the book of Jeremiah 6. So many amazing stories. for animals. More about the invasion. 6. Flee in a body, Benjaminites, right away from Jerusalem. Sound the trumpet in Tekoa. Light the beacon on Beth ha-Jarem. For disaster lowers from the north, an immense calamity. Beautiful, delicate as she is, I shall destroy the daughter of Zion. Shepherds are advancing on her with their flocks. I don't know why men would write this all down like that. Why don't you tell me exactly what happened? So which army was it that was invading and blah, blah, blah? Yet it was, God all, did that. Okay, they have pitched their tents all around her. Each grazes his part. Prepare for holy war against her. To arms, we shall attack at noon. Disaster for us. The light is fading. The evening shadows lengthen. To arms, we shall attack at night and destroy her palaces. For Yahweh Sabaoth says this, cut down trees, throw up an earthwork outside Jerusalem. This is the city to be punished, with nothing but oppression in her. As a well keeps its water fresh, so keeps her wickedness fresh. Violence and ruin are what you hear in her. Wounds and blows, always forced on my attention. Reform Jerusalem, or I shall turn my attention away from you and reduce you to a desert, a land without people. Yahweh Sabaoth says this, they will glean what is left of Israel like a vine, like a grape picker. Pass your hand again over the branches. To whom should I speak? Whom warn? For them to hear. Look, their ears are uncircumcised, they cannot listen. Look, for them Yahweh's word is something to sneer at. They have no taste for it. So I am full of Yahweh's wrath. I am weary of holding it in. Oh, here it comes. So I am full of Yahweh's wrath. I am weary of holding it in. Well, there you go, Jeremiah. You shouldn't be using God like that. Then pour it on the children in the streets and on the bands of youths as well. For husband and wife will both be taken to graybeard, and the man weighed down with years. Their houses will pass to the other men, so will their fields and wives. Yes, I shall stretch my hand over those living in this country, Yahweh declares. For from the least to greatest they are all greedy for gain, prophet no less than priest. All of them practice fraud. Wow. That gives us a good look into the society of the Israelites, it almost seems like. Again, from Jeremiah's point, I don't think God has anything to do with this, okay? That's just not, no. And if God really were to interfere like this, right, and just graze people down to the ground because they're so wicked, and it's finally enough, this and that, wouldn't the world look a little different? But no, we have freedom of will, we get to choose, and that is that. Yes? Yeah. No force attached to it. We decide. Without concern they dress my people's wounds, saying, peace, peace, whereas there is no peace. They should be ashamed of their loathsome deeds. No, they feel no shame. They do not even know how to blush. And so, as others fall, they too will fall, will be thrown down when I come and punish them, Yahweh says. I'm doing this for the reputation of God. God does not have anything to do with this. And it's again, somebody just kind of realizes, hey, this is not what we're supposed to do, but in the way that it is being communicated, what is it? Not something that and how God would try to solve a solution. Yahweh says this, stand at the crossroads and look, ask for the ancient paths, which was the good way. Take it and you will find rest for yourselves. But they have said, we will not take it. I posted lookouts on your behalf. Listen to the sound of the trumpet, but they said, we will not listen. Then hear, you nations, and know assembly, what is going to happen to them. Listen, earth, watch, I shall bring disaster on this people. It is the fruit of the way they think, since they have not listened to my words nor to my law, but have rejected it. Okay, now here is part of it. That's to say, yes, it is the fruit of the way they think, since they have not listened to my words nor to my law, but have rejected it. Right there. What's the consequence of not following God's guidance? you destroy yourself. In a way, the destruction comes from within. It's not God's doing. That's our own doing. And at that time, it was the same thing. Yes, God didn't come and destroy the Israelites, didn't do a thing. It's just the way things were at that time. Yes, if the Israelites would have followed God's guidance, to the max, to the full, would things be different? I don't know. Would they? We don't know. Yes. All I can say is for myself and the way my life went, dedicating my life to number one, following God's guidance at all times, if possible. Yes, listening to Spirit World, trying to do the right thing at all times, teaching what I know to be right. Yes, has been great in my life. It's been amazing. I wouldn't want it any other way. It didn't mean that there weren't hard times. But I think the hard times are different when one has clear guidance in their life. Yes? Yes? But all on the side of goodness. Where are we at now? What do I care about incense imported from Sheba or fragrant cane from a distant country? Your burnt offerings are not acceptable. Your sacrifices do not please me. And so Yahweh says this, in front of this people I shall now lay obstacles for them to stumble over. Father and son alike, neighbor and friend will perish. So there's this one little part that I say, yeah, well, if you reject it, not listen, then it is the fruit of the way they think. You reap what you harvest, or you reap what you sow. And then harvest. It's not always good fruit if it's not properly taken care of. Just saying. But then the rest of it again is, okay, well, how does that make sense with what went beforehand? So again, sometimes Jeremiah lets something out that I'm going, oh, yep, that right there it is. And then he goes right back into his own desires in a way that he wants things to happen to what? Again, suppress the people that we're talking about oppression here. Yes? Yahweh says this, look, a people is coming from the land of the north, from the far ends of the earth. A great nation is rising. They are armed with bow and spears. They are cruel and pitiless. Their noise is like the roaring of the sea. They are riding horses. They are ready to fight against you. Ooh-yah. As one man, against you, daughter of Zion. We have heard the news. Our hands fall limp. Anguish has gripped us. Oh, yeah, right there. The anguish sure shows in everything we just read in 6. Pain like that of a woman in labor. Here we go again. Do not go out into the countryside. Do not venture onto the roads, for the enemy's sword is there. We already read this as well. Oh, but they said that there's a lot of repetition going on in this one. Terror on every side. Put on sackcloth, daughter of my people. Roll in ashes. Mourn us for an only son. A very bitter dirge, for on us suddenly the destroyer is coming. I have appointed you as tester of my people, to learn and to test how they behave. Oh, interesting. All of them are total rebels, peddlers of slander, hard as bronze and iron, all agents of corruption. The bellows blast away, to make the fire burn away the lead. In vain the smelter does his work. For the dross is not purged out. Silver reject, man call them, and indeed Yahweh has rejected them. All right. All this stuff in here. Not sure why it's in here. Obviously, Israel was struggling, constantly under attack. And according to Jeremiah, it's because they weren't following God's guidance. Okay, well, there you go. So, I don't know much more to say to it. We read so much of this already, right? It's just a to someone else talking about the same thing that Isaiah already talked about and others have talked about beforehand. Yes? Okay. It is what it is, right? maybe someday someone will pull out all the scrolls again and restudy them. Would it be so bad to do that? And actually say, wait a minute, this was translated wrong. This was not, yes, understood in the right way, and create an updated Bible? Would that be so bad? No, no. Anyway, truly find God's word in all this. Just real quick, let's see what time. Oh, almost. The pastor in South Korea, the one, Pastor Sun is his name, Sun, S-U-N, was released. He was sentenced to 6 months for his political whatever, and a year of probation, and I don't think he has to go to prison for 6 months because he's almost already sat in detention for so long, and so it's all on probation, suspended sentence, whatever, and so he's out, and so that's a good thing. Not what I was hoping for yesterday, but it's a good start, I guess. Yes, and I hope that it doesn't sound like it because I read something else on when he came out. He says, "Oh, I'm going to appeal right away that, one can't say something as a pastor when it comes to politics." So he's very brave. If he's already said that, I'm going, oh, beware. But at first I thought, I wonder if he made a deal with the South Korean government to get out. I wonder. Then to stand also against True Mother. But it doesn't seem like that. So I have to take that back. Yes, I admit to my thoughts. But it doesn't seem that way. So I will hope that True Mother isn't going to become the only focus and sacrificial lamb in that very weird way of, not sure. It all seems so very similar to what happened at Jesus' time. Yes? Well, anyway, so there it is. One thing that in Pastor Sun's case, all of his children stood behind him and fought for his release. Yes? A very united community. That's good. They were rewarded for that. Oh, that goes right along with 6, doesn't it? May Heavenly Parent bless and protect you, guide you, bless you, embrace you with love, and I will talk to you another time.